Okay, before I talk about the next podcast, I do want to thank, I guess, like there was a person who sent like a little voice message, it touched my soul. It's like, oh man, I like your podcast and everything. I didn't think anyone was really listening to it, or at least listening to it enough where they felt they had to send a message. So thank you. You didn't have a name, and yeah, I agree. Like it's weird that they don't let you just text it. It has to be a voice message. It's kind of weird, but yeah, thank you for liking my energy. I try to keep it up. Now that it's only me talking. Maybe at some point I'll have another person, but it's got to be good. If there's gonna be another person on the podcast for now on, it's got to be a quality podcast, deep. But yeah, and there's also someone who commented on the podcast where I literally predicted everything. They're like, yeah, you predicted everything basically. So thank you. I think his name was Cruz or something, but then it had like Arabic characters or something like that. So I'm just gonna say it's Cruz. Thank you. I didn't know there was someone else who actually watched and then happened to see that and then typed. It's crazy. Unless it's just some freaking AI or whatever, just trying to make me happy. Then thank you, AI. Thank you for analyzing my podcast and then writing a comment based on whatever algorithm. Thank you. But yeah, that is not what the podcast is about. This podcast is about the freaking flat Earth theory. Yeah. I know. You're already hating. Oh, flat Earth. I can't believe you're gonna say it's real. No, I wasn't. So yeah, you can stop. I don't know what your problem is. Always thinking something. Just because I had a few conspiracy podcasts does not mean I'm a freaking crackhead. I just had a couple. Gosh, but yeah, it's about the flat Earth thing because I wanted to talk about the whole thing where people are like, where's the curve? When they're like on a mountain or in the plane or whatever. And it made me like, because I don't know where everyone learned this, because I also learned this, but it's like certain things where there's like, oh, if you're a certain feet high, you could actually see the curve of the Earth, which that's not a thing. Like you can't see the curve of the Earth, no matter how high you are, no matter how high, unless you're super high. Like you have to be like even higher than the freaking International Space Station to start to see the freaking curve, because the Earth is freaking huge. It's huge. Like it's like, what is it? 32,000 miles? Is it circumference or radius? Yeah, radius is one. Yeah. So it's like 36,000, I think, circumference. That's huge. It's freaking huge. Wait, it's probably more than that. I don't know. I just know it's freaking huge. So when you think about it, like if you're like, you have to think about it like a marble. Like when you're on Mount Everest, you're literally like a freak. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like if you have your hand up, like put your hand up, look at your hand, your palm, and then put your finger above your palm, like by an inch, no, not an inch, like maybe like a quarter of an inch, like where you're almost touching it, like that little tiny gap. Okay, yeah. Look at that gap. Now you're about to think like, oh yeah, that's actually how high Everest is. No, that's how high the freaking International Space Station is. Like you know how freaking small, like how freaking like not that high above the Earth you actually are. Because it made me like when Jeff Bezos and his whatever crew went to space, quote unquote space, and they were, I forgot how high. There was a quote, and I love, by this old lady. I think she'd be an astronaut or something. But there was this quote where she was like, yeah, I wish we were higher because I didn't really get to see anything. And you know why? Because that's just upper sky. It's literally upper sky. Like you're not that high. Even when you're in the International Space Station, you're not going to see like a curve because you're just not that high. You're not high enough. You might have to be like, because the International Space Station might be 300 miles up. And think about it. Remember, circumference of the Earth is like 36,000 miles. You can look that up just to make sure. It might be even bigger, like 64,000 or something. I don't know. I know it's just freaking huge. And you're only 300 miles up just to see the whole freaking side of the Earth. Like you gotta be like, I don't know, like at least like in the thousands. Like if you're only a 300, like you're not gonna see anything. You're not gonna see one freaking thing. But yeah, that's why people who say that are freaking idiots. Because like even when in the International Space Station, they use like freaking wide angle lenses to like, exaggerate the curvature of the Earth, because it literally is just going to look like you're up. You're just up. Like it's going to look more up than like everything else, I guess. Like but like just think about it like this. Say the edge of space. When you're in a plane, you're around you're about 10,000 meters up in the air. 10,000 meters, I think. 10,000 meters. No. Wait, you might be. How high are you when you're in a plane? Wait a minute. Okay. I might have this wrong. Maybe I have this wrong. But I think I was 11 miles up in the air when I was on a plane. Like when I was flying here. I was around 11 miles up. Something like that. And then Jeff Bezos, he was 60 miles up. So think about it. He was only 6 times higher than me. Like that's a lot, but it's not that much. Like when you're up in the plane, it already looks really, really high. Now imagine just 6 times that. It's just going to look really, really, really high. Like it's going to look like a certain amount higher. So yeah, you're not going to see like, oh man, I'm going to see the freaking entire US continent. But when I'm up in space, when I'm in the ISS, I'm going gonna see everything. No, you're not. You're gonna see like maybe like the tip of Florida. Like maybe make that out. Like, yeah. That's the Everglades, I think. You're not gonna see the entire freaking like east side of the seaboard or whatever. No, you're not that high. You're just not. That's why they see like what? Like they say like they see like 5 sunsets a day or whatever. Because they're so freaking like, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. So yeah, space is freaking huge. The earth is freaking huge. Flat earthers are stupid, but so are you. Because you think that you're gonna see the freaking curve when you're in the ISS. It's just gonna look like high. That's it. But yeah, that what is that? Freaking 7 minutes? I guess it's a MiniWiz. So yeah, the earth is big.